All right, welcome to this video. We are going to revise questions on organic chemistry. So this was the quiz for last semester. Those were in the January intake. Okay, they wrote these as their quiz 2 because they had started learning with they started with biochemistry. So they first learned the biomolecules like the proteins, carbohydrates. Okay, and then when they were done with that, they started learning organic chemistry. But for you guys, you've started with organic chemistry. Okay, so their quiz 2 preparation will actually be treated as your quiz 1 because you've started with organic chemistry. Okay, so these are the questions here. So there were 19 questions in that quiz, and those are the questions that we're going to go through here. Okay, so we start with question 1. Okay, so question 1, they're saying define electronegativity of an atom or group in a molecule. Okay, and they've given us options here. So they're saying electron movement in a molecule towards one atom or groups of atoms. B, electron affinity of an atom or group of atoms. Okay, C, ionization potential of a molecule. D, electron attraction between atoms in a molecule. Okay, so which one is the best answer there? So you have to understand here this term electronegativity here. Okay, so I'll use the water molecule to explain. So if I have oxygen there, okay, being bonded to hydrogen and another hydrogen there, and then this oxygen atom has a lone pair of electrons like that. Okay, so in this water molecule, we usually say that, okay, this oxygen here is more electronegative than the hydrogen there. Okay, so why is this oxygen more electronegative? Okay, because it draws electrons towards itself. Okay, it draws electrons towards itself. So it's going to be attracting the electrons there, they will be drawing closer to the oxygen. Even the electrons here, they will be drawing closer to the oxygen. Why? Because the oxygen is more electronegative than the what? The hydrogen here. Okay, so what can we see in this movement where these electrons have been attracted to the oxygen there? We see that it's this electronegativity things brings about the electron movement, okay, in a molecule. Okay, because this is the water molecule. So it will bring about electron movement in a water molecule towards a group of atoms. So in this case, these electron movements, okay, are from these hydrogen atoms here. They're going towards the oxygen like that. Okay, so that's what electronegativity is. So the best answer here will be this one on A. Okay, we're going to say electronegativity is simply electron movement in a molecule towards one atom or group of atoms. So I've seen the illustration here. Okay, so even here I was putting the answers. Okay, so I'll share this PDF, and I was also putting the reasons there. Okay, down there, so you can also read that. Okay, so you can see here I was saying in molecules, more electronegative atoms, they will draw the shared electrons toward the what? Themselves. So the best answer here, we're going to pick A. Okay, question 2, they're saying, of the common ways to represent structures, which one is least favored in organic chemistry? Okay, so they have given us a number of methods here. There's the Kekule method, there's the empirical formula, there's the Lewis dot method, and then option D, they're saying none of the above. Okay, so which one of these is the least favored, or the one that is not preferred when it comes to organic chemistry? Okay, so let's first know about these methods. So the Kekule method, okay, I'll just write Kekule here. Kekule like this. So this is the method where we will represent the bonds using lines. So for example, in water, I'm just going to say H to O to H. So this is Kekule representation of the water. And then the empirical is the one where you write the formula. So empirical formula, I'll just write H2O. Okay, and then this Lewis dot, all right, H, and then I'll show the electrons that are bonding with the oxygen, and then I'll also show the ones that are bonding with the what? With the hydrogen on the other side. Okay, so this is what we mean here. So this one here is empirical, this one here is Lewis, Okay, dot method. This one is empirical, this is Kekule. So of these three here, which one is least favored in organic chemistry? The correct answer is the empirical formula. Okay, so the empirical formula is least favored. Why? Because for bigger molecules, okay, like very big molecules, you won't manage writing the formula in this way. So they usually don't use it. Okay, they usually don't use it. They use the Kekule or simply the what? The Lewis dot method. Okay, so here I've given the reason. So empirical formula only shows atom ratios and does not convey the structure. So when they give you the empirical formula, you won't know anything about how it looks like, okay? You just know what it contains. It contains 6 carbons, maybe 8 hydrogens and 1 oxygen. That's all. So that information is not enough in organic chemistry. No wonder the empirical formula method is not what? Preferred. Okay, so the correct answer here is what? B. All right, and then there are also other methods, so it's important that you also know them. Okay, there's the skeletal, which is the most preferred. Okay, the skeletal is the most preferred in organic chemistry. So this is where I just draw two my lines like this. Okay, something like this. Okay, so this will be a molecule. Okay, and then we also have the condensed one. So the condensed one is simply just a summary of how many atoms are in that molecule, but you are writing them in a certain order. So for example, if I have, if I have this molecule, CC, and then I have H, 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 H. Okay, so this one here has 2 carbons. Okay, so 2 carbons, it's what? It's ethane, right? Okay, so this structure, they all have written it here, it's Kekule, right? So I can also represent this in skeletal. So in skeletal, it's just going to be a line like this. So meaning here there's a carbon, here there's a carbon, and then there are all those hydrogens that are connecting, right? So they are invisible. So this is in skeletal, Kekule, but I can also change this to condensed. So to condense, I'm just going to say, oh, I have C here, okay? And this C is attached to how many hydrogens? 3. So I'm going to write HC3. And then I also say here I have C, which is also attached to what? 3 hydrogens. So I'll write like this. Okay, so this one here is the condensed formula. This is the Kekule. This is the what? The skeletal. Okay. And you can also represent this into the empirical formula. So to just be carbons, I can see 2. And then hydrogens, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I can see 6. So this is the empirical. And then I can also represent it in Lewis dot here. So it means here I'll put a dot, here dot, here dot, here dot, here dot, here dot, even there dots. Okay, so each line here in organic chemistry will be representing how many electrons? 2. So these are the is it 5 methods in which we can present structures. So it's very important that you are acquainted with all of them. Right, so the most preferred in organic chemistry is skeletal, in case a question comes, and then the least favored is what? Empirical. Okay, let's look at question 3 now. So question 3, they're saying a pi bond is formed by, okay, so we all know that a pi bond is formed by the p to p sideways what? Overlap. So if I have a p orbital like that, okay, and then it's overlapping with another p orbital, like this, the bond that forms there sideways, this is a sideways overlap of the p orbitals. The bonds that forms there are what we call as the pi bond. Okay, so there's only one way. So this is the p orbital, p orbital. There's only one way in which we can form a pi bond. Okay, and then the other bond that is there are what we call as the sigma bond. Okay, so these sigma bonds can be formed in 3 different ways. Okay, so one, it can be the overlap of the s orbital head to head. The bond that will form there will be a sigma bond. Okay, I have SS, and then I can overlap head to head the s orbital and the p orbital. So this is p, this is s. So when they overlap this, they're going to form a sigma bond again. Or it can be head to head overlap of 2 p orbitals. So this is p, this is p. The bond that's going to form there is also what? A sigma bond. Okay, so we can form a sigma bond in 3 different ways, but a pi bond is only formed in one way, which is the sideways, okay, overlap of 2 parallel what? P orbitals. Okay, so know that question 4, they're saying how many sigma bonds are in the molecule below? Okay, so in any bond that you can see, okay, whether it's a single bond, double bond, triple bond, there's always a sigma bond present. And the sigma bond in any type of bond is always 1. Okay, so in this one, this is a sigma bond, there's a sigma bond there. In this one, it's a triple bond. So one of the bonds here is sigma, and then 2 of them are pi bonds. Okay, this one is a single bond, so there's only a sigma bond. This one is a triple, so one of them is what? Sigma, and then 2 of them are pi bonds. This one is on a single bond, so it means that we have sigma bond there. So how many sigma bonds? So we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in this molecule here, we have how many sigma bonds? 5. Okay, so in each bond that you can see, you always have a sigma bond. So a sigma bond is always present. So it means in a double bond like this, one of them is a sigma, the other one is a pi. Okay. In a triple bond, one of them is sigma, the other 2 are pi's. So sometimes they can ask you how many pi bonds are there. Okay. So the pi bonds, they are only present in multiple bonds, like in double bonds or triple bonds. Okay. So in double bond, there's 1 pi bond. In triple, there are 2. So make sure you know that. Okay, question 5, they're saying historically, okay, carbon compounds were described as, okay, A, compounds of vegetable origin, B, compounds of animal origin, C, organic compounds, D, compounds of animal and vegetable matter. Okay, so the correct answer here is D. So just confirm with your notes, okay? So during the olden days, very early, when they were discovering organic chemistry, okay, they were describing these compounds as uh, uh, they were associated them, okay, with animal and vegetable matter. So that's where the first 2 reactions, okay, took place in organic chemistry. So one was with the animal matter, and then the other one was with the lead cyanide to produce what? Urea. So those 2 first chemical equation, they should be in your heart. You should know them because they're going to bring them. Okay, so know the first 2 reactions to ever happened in organic chemistry. So they were also there in tutorial sheets. I solved those questions and the videos are there on the website. So please go through them. Okay, so historically, carbon compounds were first described as compounds of animal and vegetable matter. Okay, so thank you for watching this video. If you'd like to access the full video to all these other questions that I was explaining, okay, feel free to register with us, okay? So there's a link in the description below. You'll find the link to our website and also my contact details. So you can contact me or you can simply watch the registration guide, which is in the description here. Okay, and then register, and then you'll be able to access the full video so that you can prepare for your quiz nicely. Okay, so it has been Tita Post Auditions. Thank you so much, and see you later.